Meantime, hundreds of thousands of students are going to head back to class today after having a week off for Thanksgiving break.
It's nippy outside, so make sure they grab a jacket. Their return has school and city officials keeping a close eye on warning signs of a coronavirus spike.
Erica Zucco joins us now to talk about what would happen, Erica, realistically, if all of a sudden the kids get back in school, we start to see a dramatic increase in cases.
Yeah, Barry and Nicole, a lot of parents are watching this really closely, and so are Metro Health and all of those district leaders. Metro Health said before Thanksgiving that after the holiday it would be continuing to discuss with districts what exactly the current data means and what those trends mean for in-person instruction, as well as potential changes to classroom sizes or virtual learning. At this point, they have not said that they're going to necessitate any changes, but here's what we do know. Metro Health said last week they've heard from several local universities that they plan to go virtual after Thanksgiving to avoid additional spread, but that at the time it had not heard from local school districts planning to go back to all virtual instruction or smaller class sizes. At least one teachers union has raised some concerns and is urging districts to consider a return to virtual instruction or at least smaller class sizes, though Mayor Ron Nirenberg noted that it's disruptive when school closes, rippling through the economy and specifically impacting students who are falling behind with virtual instruction. Some Texas school districts are pulling back a little. Austin ISD, for example, says it will have remote instruction only through December 4th. But so far, San Antonio health officials say only that they are discussing the current situation and what could potentially happen next. They say that what everyone can do is do their part to get the numbers of coronavirus cases down so we don't end up in a more difficult situation. Reporting in the medical center, Erica Zucco, KENS 5 Eyewitness News.